I turned 7 years into 9, though, because they put a child molester in my cell.
And what did you do to the child molester?
I did what I had to do.
Which was what?
I had to stab him and beat him up.
You stabbed? What happened to him? He survived?
You have to.
What do you mean you have to?
Well, like, I mean, first and foremost, I don't like child molesters and rapists anyway. And I've always been against that. And, you know, growing up, like, I ain't no snitch, you know? So anybody they put in here that's no good, under the no good news, the bad news list, they got a bad news list. And that list is like this long with baby tiny writing. You've been to prisons, and you know how,
I filmed.
you know the huilas, right? The little huilas that they write? You know the tiny writing, the small little encrypted small writing? Okay, picture that small tiny writing, and the paper is like a regular sheet of paper, and it's filled with names. And that's a bunch of bad people, like, that have to be stabbed, and like that owe money for debt.
So it's a list of targets, basically.
Here's the guy that comes in my cell, and he's a child molester.
Right. What would have happened to you if you hadn't done anything to the child molester?
Man, if I hadn't done anything to them, then that'd probably be me.
They would have beat you up because it's expected if you're sharing a cell with a child molester or a rapist, a person on that target list, that you're.
It's expected from a sureño. That's what it's expected out of you. You know, that comes without even asking.
Right.
That's something that, you know.
The sureños is like a gang. It's southern Mexican American.
Raza.
Yeah.
There's Southsiders.
Right.
And then there's sureños. And it's expected.
And they're Mexican American gangs, right?
Yeah. And you don't have to.
And they're big in prison, right?
Yeah. Not necessarily Mexican nowadays. You could be.
Right.
You know, as long as you've earned it and put in the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if you're black, that's not that expectation.
Well, you could be black
doesn't
from
happen.
a Mexican gang. There's Blaxicans. A lot of them.
Okay, but if you're not a sureño, that's not expected.
If you're not a sureño, you're a Cripper blood.
Yeah.
Or a white faction.
Yeah, from like the Aryan Brotherhood.
Right. You would have to take care of your own people. That's what I'm saying. You got to take care of your own people. Since you fall raza and you fall Hispanic and you're in my cell, I have to take care of. There could never be another black or a white guy in my cell. I couldn't even sell it. Even if you were good, even if you have no smut on your record and you have a good record, you still can't be sold up with me, because I don't sell up with other races, you know? And that's what it is.
And the people running the prison know that, and that's how they put people together in cells, right? It's according to those alliances.
According to your group, your faction, you know, all Southern Hispanics on this side, all, like, we have our own tables, we have our own side of the yard, can't walk through there. Like, the whites got their shit, we got ours, the blacks, everybody.
What percentage of people in prison were minorities, were blacks and Hispanics?
The majority. Right. The majority. I would say there was probably one slice of that pie that was like other.
Which other being
like
white and
Filipino, no, not white, like Filipino or Asian, Middle Eastern, whatever. That's other. Whites, they got their table. Mexicans got the space, and the blacks got their space.
But the majority were blacks and Hispanics.
Mexicans. Yeah, but the whites could hold their own. Before, they used to fall under us. They would fall under us, and they would ride with us.
And the majority of them, were they there for drug offenses, or what were they there for?
You're in a level 4. You're there for a lot of heavy stuff. Murder.
But why do you think it falls so heavily? Why is it so many Mexicans and Hispanics and black
Look
people?
Look around in the city, and most of us are doing that stuff, that type of crime. You know, got too many.
I think what I was trying to get at with the question about who was a majority of the people in prison is because, as we know, the war on drugs has caused this mass incarceration. I think we're the country in the world with the highest number of incarcerated people. I think it's 2 million people or something. It's insane. And a lot of it is because of drug offenses. And I think when you talk, I know you're involved a little bit in prison reform, and this is something that you've started, that's become close to you, right?
Right.
And I think part of it is, like, you can't talk about prison reform without talking about, the insanity that has been the war on drugs, which has been billions of dollars spent in putting people who sometimes just are carrying, a little bit of weed and put them in prison for a long time. And where they learn to become then actual criminals, right?
I was in prison with a guy named Vampiro from Pomona, good dude, in Salinas Valley. He got caught with a little bit of dope. I think it was meth or maybe crack or something, but it was like a 20, and they struck him out.
It was the
third strike. Yeah, they struck him out, and he was in there for like already When I met him, he had already got like 10 years, 12 years in.
Right.
I think he's home now. I would like to
That is,
hope that he's home.
it's so unfair, right?
Yeah.
And then you have like white collar crime and,
Yeah.
you know, the owners of Purdue Pharma and people who didn't do a single day in prison who, you know, in many cases are
And they're
passing.
exactly. So that's the whole crazy thing about this. You know, it becomes a street drug
Right.
from a pharmaceutical over the counter to a street drug. That's what happened to MacArthur Park, and that's what's happening inside
Right.
the pen. And so now there's a rule in jail. When I was there, it was enforced. And when I was in prison, we don't want no homies getting high
Mhm.
because we don't want you PCing up. And you know what PCing is, right? When you're protective custody.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you snitch, you have to debrief. You
Right.
go in a room and you debrief, and then you start
Uh-huh.
talking about whatever.
Right.
And then now you've debriefed, and you can't go back to the GP, general population yard. You got to go to a protective custody,
Right. Because
which is
the-
sensitive needs.
right.
And now you're in a yard with a bunch of wacky people who have, like, you got rapists, child molesters, snitches, and dropouts, and everything else under the sun that has done bad in those type of prisons where I was at in the GP yards.
Mhm.
Now they're in those yards, and it's a free for all. You don't have to, like, mandatory. Got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the GP, right? You got to wake up at early, put your shoes on, roll your bed up, get ready. Even if you don't leave, you got to sit there and just be, in case those doors open and we got guerra. There's war out there, so we might have to get up and get out the door and fight. If those doors crack, you better get out. You get out and you go and you see who's out there. If someone that we got beef with, you have to run at them and go get them.
So you're in survival mode for
It's
24/7.
like military. Yeah,
Right.
you gotta get up and you better have every cell
Mhm.
packing a shank.
Right.
Everybody got one.
You had one too. Everyone
Oh,
has
yeah,
one.
we have to.
How do you get those?
Man, they'll pass them out to you like candy. Like, hey,
You buy them. You have to buy it.
you ain't gotta. No, they'll just give you one. They'll just give it to you. In a level 4, every cell has to have.
Huh.
When I was there, you
Right.
had to have a knife. One of you's got to take turns carrying it up your rectum. You both got to take turns.
Wait, it's up your butt? That's how you keep the...
That's the prison wallet. You never leave home
You
without.
have something protected around it, I'm assuming, so you
Oh
can
yeah,
stick
well
it.
yeah, or else you'd be bleeding out your culo. You know, you got to make like a little soft, roundish, smooth something to go in. It's
With
probably
what? With like toilet paper, or what do you...
well, I would wet cardboard
Okay.
and then,
And then
but that
stick
makes it thick, and then it's just like, so you got to crush it and make it
Mhm.
small. So there's like, damn, you don't want to be.
And then how big is this thing?
Hey, go smaller than that. Come on now. What do you think this is?
So it's about a palm
I would
high-
say
big?
it's I had some about this big.
Okay,
I
so
had some about this big, but then what I do is
about 5,
a
6
little small
inches.
handle, the small
Yeah.
handle, and then here's the part I'm gonna poke you with.
Okay,
So
so at about 4 inches. 5
damn,
inches.
salute to the people who are doing it like Mariana, like that. Godly, that's a sword. Yeah, they call you the
I love how you
transporter.
say, can you make it smaller? So, okay, so you had to have this with you at all times and you were hiding it. And that was in case, how often did you have to actually use it?
First of all, you got to get to it. It's hard to get to.
Right, to get it off
You
out of
ain't
your
gonna
ass.
be like and discharge it, like push a button here and it just pops out. No, it don't work like that way.
So how does it work? You have to go to the bathroom?
You have to. Well, you better cop a squat somewhere and push like you're giving birth, and it might come out messy. And you know, if you smell caca coming, then you know someone's gonna get stabbed.
Oh, shit. Really? Is that a thing that you
Exactly, shit.
experienced? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly shit.
yeah. Well, I've been in lines where like, man, that smells shit. That smells like.
And you knew
And then
that was him.
behind me there, or in front of me, there were like, I think it was behind me, but the wind of we're in a corridor
Mhm.
where like the prison opens up, and like to go out you have to go through where the guards go up, and then to go to the chow hall.
Mhm.
Every prison, every 2 blocks share the same chow hall. So you have a chow hall that you got to go to, and it's like the wind. If you open up the door, you know the wind is just, you can smell everything. It's
Right.
like, and so I remember like a couple of us looked at each other like, "You fart on me? Nah, it smell like shit." And then like a second later, and it's like that's I've learned that if you smell that, it's because they
Right.
took it out of there.
So how often did you have to use one of these? How often did you have to stab somebody in prison?
Here we go, Mariana.
You don't want to
I'm not on traffic there,
No.
goddammit. God. Oh, put
You
a
don't
mask
need.
on.
You don't
I
need.
want my voice.
You don't
I
need-
didn't do nothing at the time, Mariana.
We have a box of masks if you need one, Fabian.
Yeah, here we go, trying to make me snitch.
Just tell me. Okay.
Okay.
I know you did it
used
with a child molester.
I used it about, like, all in all, or just that one time and like my one stint.
All in all.
Oh wow. I had a knife on me all the time.
In prison, or you mean in prison?
In
Okay,
prison.
so you use it a lot.
Yeah. And I kept it on me because I know how it goes then here.
And in your mind, were you sort of moralizing it as something that you're doing it to the bad guys, or what was in your, or just because I'm doing it because this is protection?
Yeah, strictly for protection. Bad guys, we're all around good guys.
Right.
We're all supposed to be in this yard, and we're all like soldiers.
Right. But were you doing it? Is it also like a show of force? You're showing the other people like, don't come at me because I'm fucking dangerous.
Yeah. Well, if you think you're gonna swing on me and hit me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stick you. So I'm not gonna fight fair. Nobody fights fair, and I'm always gonna try to up one. I'm always ahead of it. If you think you're gonna swing on me, I'm gonna stab you. Unless you call me out for a fair fight, I'll go in a cell with you, and then we'll see who wins.